What is up, guys? Broken Prophet here, and welcome back to the vlog. I know y'all miss me. I did, and guess what? I missed y'all too. Behold, this is the day that the Lord hath made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. I'm out here in the shed slash store. I don't know why I had a hard time saying slash just then. Shed slash store. And I was like, you know what? Let me film out here in the midst of trying to get it together. Because, I'm about to ask y'all for some money to help get it together. I know some of y'all are like, oh, Prophet about to hit. Yes, about to hit y'all up. Because I want to get this thing finished, not just for me, but for you guys, for the entire Hoodoo community as this plane flies overhead. But that's all right. We're gonna keep this thing moving. I started a GoFundMe. I may post it, I may not. I don't know. Let me know if y'all interested. I thought about doing that because I know there's some people outside. Excuse me. I'm always burping. The Cash App or Venmo range, like some folks in Europe and stuff like that. So I decided, hey, why not have that open? And I've been pricing the go karts. Remember we talked about that? Not go karts. What are those things? Golf carts, so that we can go over to different areas. And I'm thinking about doing a soft opening here pretty soon for the people who are like, you know what? I don't really need the golf carts. We'll just follow you around, Prophet. And I'm like, hey, okay. Y'all, if y'all want to do that, maybe we can do that as well. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna post a GoFundMe down there. But as always, if you guys want to run the donations the regular way, feel free to do so. Anything and everything is greatly appreciated. And I may give y'all some little pics of what we've got going on already. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I decided to do this video. Oh, before that, listen, if you were in the Hi John the Conqueror webinar, please ping me by email so that I can send you the link to the download. Okay? I've got it together. Y'all forgive me. I was traveling for a few days. I'm back home now, and y'all are asking, "Can I get the download?" Yes, you can absolutely get the download. It is ready. Um, so there you go. All right. Now, with that being said, I decided to do this video as a follow-up to the last video that I did about the Bible and hoodoo. This is more about explaining some workings that are traditional that came from the Bible. I recommend that you watch the first video. It might be up here somewhere. Watch that after you hit the Cash App or the Venmo, and then come back, and it'll start to make a little sense to you. Now, you guys know how I feel about the Bible and hoodoo. You can't take it out. No matter, how you feel about church, no matter how you feel about organized religion, no matter how you feel about some of the Christians you done dealt with. Remember, nobody said you had to be Christian to do hoodoo. You just got to honor and work with the Bible as an honor to the ancestors who created this African traditional religion, because hoodoo is an African traditional religion, and just as an honor to them. All right. So with that being said, let's dive into some workings. I know there's still some folks out there who are like, I just don't see it. Trust me, follow along. Here, I'm gonna grab you by the hand, and we're gonna get into it. And I don't know about y'all. It's just something about me sitting in a chair rocking just feels right. Y'all, it just feels right. Hold on, let me. I don't have a natty, but something just feels right. So, with that being said, let's dive into it. When we look at the introduction of the Bible to the creation of hoodoo, I mean, you have to go all the way back. And it's true, a lot of ancestors could not read. A lot, they weren't allowed to read. It was against the law to teach them to read. So they would use scraps of scripture, much like the Congo use objects that have spirit in them. The scraps of scripture had spirit. But let's go back further than that. Why? Why utilize that? Besides the fact that that was probably the only thing that they could get their hands on, because we weren't allowed belongings, but we were given the Bible. Go figure. Why would they do that? The ancestors, much like us, their descendants, we are very observant, we are very thrifty, and we are highly intelligent. I've often said, if aliens were to land on this planet and we shot all the bombs and we shot all the missiles and we shot all the bullets and none of that hit. None of that will work. None of it worked on them, right? What should our next course of action be? Whatever guns and whatever that they use, we need to get a hold of them because that's obviously what they consider a weapon, right? Y'all following me? So, the ancestors in a foreign land with foreign people, foreign tongue, everything is foreign to them. This was obviously a weapon because it was thrust on them. It was obviously a weapon. So if this was a weapon to them, we gonna get our hands on it. And we got our hands on it. And mix that with some of our African traditions, and that's how we got hoodoo. If you don't believe me, let's follow along. Psalm 51, because y'all are always asking me about Bible verses. If I give y'all the work and y'all always like, Prophet, is there a Bible verse that go along with it? And y'all know what I say. If I didn't give you one, there wasn't one. But here's some. We know that we do spiritual baths in hoodoo. Some of us need to do more than what we're doing. But it's a way of cleansing ourselves spiritually and sometimes physically, because a spiritual bath can help with some physical ailments. If you delve into Psalm 51, and I may be paraphrasing, purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Clean me, I shall be whiter than snow, or something like that. You know, I don't like paraphrasing the Bible. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Where are these Psalms at? Where are these Psalms at? Right here. Now, I prefer the King James Bible. I know what some of y'all gonna say. Well, Prophet, you know that. Yeah, I know. I hear what y'all are saying about translations and iterations. I hear what you're saying. I just don't care. But Psalm 51, and it says, verse 7, purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. That right there is the basis behind a lot of spiritual baths, because we use hyssop in a lot of cleansing baths. If you have done a lot of negative workings and you just want to get that energy off of you, a hyssop bath. The idea of spiritual baths is that we didn't get that from the Bible, because the African traditional religions, we use spiritual baths a lot. So with that being said, the ancestors looked at the scripture, remembered some of our native beliefs, and we started making spiritual baths out of hyssop, because we didn't have access to some of the things we had access to at home. So let's use that here, what we got here. And it's more in line, since this is the book that was given us, is more in line with the negativity we're picking up here. Because see, location is very important. That's why I tell a lot of you, y'all out here burning all this sage. Sage does not clean everything. See, the United States, we are a melting pot. People came here from all over the place, everyone bringing their own angels and demons. And so there are some spirits who sage, they're like, man, you just seasoned yourself up. I appreciate that, my boy. So sage doesn't work with everything, but we're like, okay, this is their book, this is their weapon. Let's mix it with what we know how to do, but with some of the ingredients and some of the verses, and make an effective spiritual bath for this situation that we are now in. Because see, make no mistake about it, hoodoo came about as a way to combat the situation in which we found ourselves. And it's still for that. So there's a spiritual bath. Now, a lot of y'all are out here doing love workings. And I totally get it. Nobody wants to be alone, right? I cannot stop rocking. It just feels great. And so people ask about a Bible verse for a love working. And let's flip to the book of Ruth. Now, some of y'all have heard me give this out before, because it is one of my favorites. And you can absolutely go into the Song of Solomon. It's not cheating. It's not cheating, because the Song of Solomon is one long love story. It is one long, expression of thirst. So you can pick almost anything out of the Song of Solomon. But for real love and actually a little bit of infatuation, the book of Ruth is excellent for it. And the verse that I often use in my own workings, we're looking at Ruth chapter 1, verse 16 and 17. Now I want y'all to listen. Let those of you who have an ear to listen, let you hear. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. Now, could you imagine tying up some dolls? One for you, one for them. And you tying them dolls together while you reciting that verse, mind, body, and spirit in alignment. You are thinking love, feeling love, being love. Maybe you got some love songs playing in the background. And you reciting that verse. Come on, man. And y'all talking about, well, I don't need the Bible for hoodoo. Who? Y'all better stop. Y'all better stop. Because see, someone asked, well, where would you recommend that I, start in the Bible? In the beginning. The very first words are in the beginning. Start in the beginning. Because see, when you are working with the Bible and hoodoo, yes, those books, the workings with the Psalms and stuff like that, they are absolutely useful. But see, you don't want just the crust. You want to get into the doggone meat and stuff of the sandwich. And you will only do that by going. And you may actually find verses that are significant to you and your workings. That's where customization in hoodoo is possible. Not some of this weird stuff I see y'all out here doing, taking the crystal egg and shoving it place. No. But within the framework, you can customize certain things because maybe a verse leaps out to you. You may see something that pertains to your situation that I didn't see for mine. So you have to get in there. And I use the King James Version. But if all the these and thous kind of make it hard for you to read, then, go and get one of the other ones. But have a King James Version so that you can go back to it and, and just see what the actual wording is. Okay? Now, I know some of you are like, okay, Prophet, I understand that. But where are some of the older workings coming from? Here we go. Now, we all know that to make an effective protection for your house, you take some red brick dust and some urine and you scrape that outside your front door. That came actually out of the book of Exodus. Came out of the book of Exodus. It was Exodus 12. Exodus 12. Let me get my sword here. Now, sometimes I wish I wore glasses because it'd be a cool moment for me to just be like. But Exodus 12 said, Exodus 12, verse 22 starts, and ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin. Now, this is the blood from an unblemished lamb. Or was it a ram? Let me read back. I'll tell y'all. It was an unblemished lamb. And you shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out at the door of his house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he seeth the blood upon the lintel and on the two posts, the Lord will pass over the door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. So, now, yes, the red brick dust, it does work against negative entities, negative spirits, negative energies for my Hotepan folks. But it also works for the negative spirits inside of people. Because, see, I don't know about y'all. Yes, I know that spirits are real, demons are real, all of that is real. But shoot, the ones who try to destroy you are often the ones walking on two legs, not flying about, invisible. So those are the destroyers that you want to keep out. And we started using red brick dust because the ancestors did not have access to many unblemished lambs. I know we think it well back in the day. No, no, no. If we had access to unblemished lambs, we have been eating chitlins. No. But what we did have, if we didn't have unblemished lamb blood, well, we did have some red brick that when we mixed it, it turned what color? Go ahead, shout it out if you know. What color did it turn? And we may not have had lentils, the posts and stuff like that, but we did have an entrance to our abode, and we would paint it there. And there was hyssop again. I don't know if y'all caught that, but there was hyssop again. I mean, I could go into more workings, but I want this to be a short video to just let you guys know that the workings are in there. You don't have to just go to the Psalms, go all through the book and write it down. Get you one of these. Get you one of these, write it down. You got your recipe book. It is not a book of shadows. It is not a grimoire. Just make you a little recipe book. Write it down, see what jumps out, and work with it. There's a lot of trial and error. I mean, I appreciate you guys take my word for it, but instead of, write it down and then do it. See how it works for you. Maybe you need to tweak something. Do your divination. Go, yeah, that kind of didn't hit the way I wanted it to. Where did I go wrong? Go to your ancestor altar, ask them. They may tell you, add a little bit of tobacco to it. Or do a little bit of this. And then what do? Try it again. See how it lands now. Okay? Guys, I enjoy these videos. I look forward to seeing y'all once I get stuff kind of situated a little bit more down here. And I'm just gonna sit here and I gotta go in it and edit and upload this video, but I'm gonna sit here and rock a minute because I enjoyed that. It just felt right. But thank y'all for tuning in. Do me a favor, y'all can hit the GoFundMe. I don't want to harp on that, but this is something that is like near and dear to my heart. So I do want to have this space open so you guys can come down. And hey, yeah, it's gonna be a store, absolutely. But I want y'all to come down south because see, I see a lot of my brothers and sisters kind of crossed up, and a lot of it is simply because, I mean, you guys are looking for information and it's great, but if you guys were down here and could just see it for a weekend or just a day trip, then some things would click. Driving past a old cemetery or driving past a cotton field, oh, you'll hear them call out to you and stuff will start to make sense. So that's what I'm trying to do. So with that being said, guys, I'm gonna sit here and rock a little bit, but you guys, thanks for tuning in and I really appreciate you. And hit the comment section. Let me know what you thought about the video or let me know what the next webinar should be and I'll post it in the community section tonight. But be blessed, y'all. Profit out. Oh man, before y'all go, I want to share this story with y'all. Okay, so I told y'all I was out traveling, right? Which I was. And I wanted it was a trip. I mean, it was a business trip, basically. No, it wasn't fundraising stuff like that. Just had some stuff to take care of. And I wanted to reach out to you guys and be like, hey, if you're because I was in the Carolina, if you're in this area, let's meet up, but I wasn't able to do that. But in my travels, I'll probably do that in the future. I may be going to Columbus here soon. But I'll let y'all know if I'm in the area and we can meet up. But let me tell y'all something that happened on the trip. And this is not spiritually related, but I think you'll find it funny. So I'm driving. I'm just driving. Car pulls up next to me. You know how you instinctively just look over. I look over and it's like a car full of young ladies. And I look over and they just looking. And they looking and smiling and looking and smiling. And boy, I was like, boy, you still got it. They choosing. Boy, you still got it. And light turned green, and I kept on going. Like, shoot, I don't know what it is. These little young tenderonis love your boy, but and then they get further along. They start sticking their hands out the window, doing little weird things with their hands, and I'm like, it's a bunch of Crips or something. But I forgot the car that I was in did not belong to me. It belonged to a lady who's in a sorority. And I forgot that she had a sorority plate on the back of the vehicle. And I looked at the vehicle with the young ladies. Y'all, they was in the same sorority. So I was like, man, I thought they was trying to holler at your boy. No, they thought it was one of their sisters in the car. And I was like, won't, won't, won't. But it was still, I mean, it's still cool. But here's something that is spiritual that, maybe you guys want to back up a little bit. Here's another story. So, we all tend to have, you know, recurring dreams and whatnot, or certain themes in our dreams. And we're like, okay, that's my dream. Or when something's out of whack, you're like, I wonder if that meant something, right? So for some reason, in my dreams, if there's some type of confrontation, I run away. It makes me mad because that's not who I am. Like, hey, someone found out. That's not who I am in real life. But in the dream, I'll just book it. And I'm like, and I wake up mad, like, man, why was I running from that? But I had a dream that I was looking out a window, and all of a sudden boulders started landing like right outside the window. They just started landing. And I look in the distance, and there was like a volcano or something, and it just boom. And I could see the shock wave like coming. I'm like, man, I'm about to check out. No running. And some friends of mine were pulling up in the car. I'm like, well, hope they get here before they get here. We can all, check out together. This is my thought process in the dream. And then I noticed here's a fellow dressed in black walking up to the house. And there was an ominous feeling I was getting from this individual. I know who the individual was, but I'm not going to say, but I will, tell you. You'll see. So the individual walks up, and totally different countenance, as the Bible would say, countenance, just kind of not really mean, but just kind of out of it. And he walks up to the door, and I already was like getting on guard because it was just something about the facial expression, right? So he gets up to the door and said, I came on account of someone. This is someone I used to know. You know that song, Somebody That You Used to Know? It's somebody I used to know, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, what's up? And I saw his hands start to move. And instinctively, I reached down in my pocket. I grabbed my Bethlehem and get him. That Bethlehem, like a heat, see, it's got GPS. Whatever's in there, it's going to guide right to it. And I know I got him a good one. I'm not going to get too graphic. I know I got him a good one. And we scuffled a little bit. And I, got his hands a little bit. More than a little bit. I'll just put it that way. And at that point, I woke up and I was like, that was weird. That was so weird. Then I decided to do some digging. How about this same individual then got into an accident, and guess what? Done broke his hands in mid cast. And I'm like, man, that is crazy. That is crazy. So I say, man, y'all, when stuff happens, you don't have to wonder, hey, I wonder was that or is my work working? Because I kind of feel, oh no, you will know because you'll be able to see the evidence of it. You don't have to wonder, you have to think, you'll see the evidence of it. And that's it. That's the end of story time. And everybody else, hey, you come at the king, you best not miss. I always love that saying. All right, y'all, I'm out for real.